welcome to Britainshiddenhistory Live 142, with, of course, the live number 28 rerun. And yes, welcome. I don't know what that song was, really, but I hope you all enjoyed it. And let us start with the news announcements. So, I think that is the right one. I hope you can see me in the corner now, as you can see the screen. But starting off, firstly, maybe not great news, but I mean, good news for me and all that. There's going to be a month break from the channel. Alright, so we're going to take a break off in the summer, the start of the summer holidays. And there will be not, what? Oh, well, thanks. And there will not be new content in this time, as we'll be away. Well, there might be some small new videos, but there will not be a show on. It's a shame. You can have a look at the social medias there if you want to keep updated, I suppose. See everything you want to see. But yeah, that is all you really need to know about that. Now, continuing on. Of course, I talked about it last week, but there is still the Unveiling Britainshiddenhistory event, which is still available, of course. It's going to be on the 9th of September, and I do hope you all come along. You're going to very much like it if you do. It's going to be a great event. It's going to be, a buffet, drinks. There's going to be speakers there, as there will be much more detail in the next few slides, but I do think you will enjoy it a lot. Now, here are the bigger details, of course. So, the event name is Unveiling Britainshiddenhistory, Celebrating Ross Broadstock's Legacy. Of course, because he wanted to plan this event, sadly couldn't. And then, now this event's going to be going ahead in September. And, yeah, 9th of September, which will be a Saturday as well, so no worries about... I don't know if any of you watching here really... this would matter at all, but there won't be any school on the day. It's going to be Saturday. And it's 1:30 until 8 o'clock, so not too late. A nice afternoon to evening event at the Bedwas Workman's Hall in Old Newport Road, Bedwas. Truth be told, I don't really know about the Bedwas Workman's Hall, but I'm going to guess that it's quite a nice place, given that this was all organised by Danielle and Glamorganug, and they are very good at picking locations. Ticket will be £18, and that might sound quite steep. However, it is a good deal, okay, because there is that is the lowest price that we could possibly price it at, or the organisers could, because there's going to be a buffet, there's going to be drinks available and all that. It's going to be a good event. I can recommend it wholeheartedly. Here's more on the location, the venue. It does look very nice. I've got to say, it looks nice. Lots of windows. It looks like quite an old building. But yeah, it is going to be good. I don't know how much of the building this will take up, but I'm sure it's going to be lovely. As well as this, the key speakers here. We have Marshall Abrahams, firstly. She's been on this show before, as I think have all of these people. But yeah, Marshall's been on the show before. You all know who Marshall is. Author of The Great Migrations to Britain. And, yes, what? Speaker mode, okay. Are you sure it's not just your volume? Sorry, interruption there. But, Marshall... Yeah, okay, Mum. Very sorry for that there. Then, of course, we have Rob Pierce, Legolas, as he is known in the group, will be there. And John Pitcher as well as Adam Griffith. And now Adam Griffith will be, in the coming weeks, maybe even months, becoming a lot more involved with these shows and with this channel. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be quite exciting. That's a little teaser there. Rob Shaw, of course, has definitely been on this show. Author of Architecture of Power. And there will be more that have not yet been announced that I cannot tell you, either because I haven't been told or because I'm not allowed to, but there will be more. Okay, I can promise you that in the show. So, research presentations. So, yeah, of course, as said on the previous slide, lots of speakers there talking about various aspects of this company and of the whole thing, really, of Britain's hidden history and of, not just that, of really anything like this, of chiroglyphics, of, there's one on London as well. Mum, what? Oh, crying out loud, Mother. One moment, please. Sorry, that's... Sorry if that was a little quiet then. I was unaware of this, I've been told. Hopefully this one's better, this microphone. But, yes, so... I don't know how much of the last few slides you heard, but I mean, if you didn't hear me, then you can always read them. It's got all the writing on the page, really. I'm just a narrator, as such. So, yeah, all the speakers there. It'll be a range of topics, and it will be very interesting. Now, here's one of the draws. Live music as well. There will be live music, some of it composed by Ross himself, you know, the reason we're doing this event. Yes, and the music will be good. There will be some very good musicians there that we know there will be some good musicians there playing a variety of different tunes and all that. And I think it's going to be a very big draw of the event, of course. The music has always been a very big part of these shows, you know, me playing at the start, all that. And it will be in the hall as well. There's very good acoustics over there. It's going to sound lovely on all the whatever music is being played on all its different instruments. And there may be a few people you recognise as well. Just saying that. As book signings, of course, you know, with all the authors being there doing talks, there will be book signings on any of their books. For example, Rob Shaw will be signing Architecture of Power, and Marshall will be signing The Great Migration of Britain. A little update here, of course, mainly just a little summary of the last few slides, talking about the event. But, yes, it will be... So finally, the ticket information again, and I think now it is time for us to play the video. So, if you would all be with me a second. Now for the main meat of the show, the main reason you all come here, Britain's Hidden History Live 28, being shown in hopefully good quality, better than last time. Last time we had some freezing issues on the video. This time, hopefully, better, and I think it shall be. It's a good show, so please enjoy.
Hello everyone! Wow, I got so much this week. Right? Just overflowing.
Quickly, and yeah, very sorry to interrupt the video, but apparently it was muted. Thank you for telling us, by the way, everyone in the comments. Thank you.
Right, everybody. Hello, everyone. Wow, I got so much this week. I'm just overflowing with things. And as you might have seen, so hello and welcome, and thank you, everyone. If it's your first visit, you're very welcome.
About 4.5 seconds lag.
Oh, great. Got a nice short lag. I'm going to get the chat on my screen as well so I can follow what's going on. Oh, loads of people saying hello. Hello, Andrew. Johnny Enigma. Oh, yes. John Griffiths. Andrew Whelan. Robert Pierce. Hey, Legolas is here. I've got Hugh. Evening, Hugh. Oh, it's great to see everyone logged in nice and early. And up and duk. The names are appearing. There's Arnie. Who else we got? Meg. Oh, I don't know Meg. Is that a new one? Hello, Meg. Mark Austin, yes, I've still got to send that stuff over to you, and I will definitely do it tomorrow. I'm going to nail myself to the chair and get that sorted. Thinky Stingers. Yes, ever since the sack in a row, he's just got into the deep end. Straight in the deep end, taking a pop at the poor old Vatican. Evening, old Patrick. Benny Babbles. Benny has been giving me help. I will start there, actually. Because I'll be trying... going to go on to Jack's Radio, Jacs. Try it, Jack's Radio, internet radio. We're lining up an interview where I will go on there, and I might do something about Goldbull. Hang on, let's borrow this. We should be looking at this. It's now ready. It's on the website. It's for sale. We've already had advanced orders, so thank you very much, particularly Hugh Evans. So I don't want to spoil it. Anyone watching this might be guessing what they're going to get for Christmas. Well, Hugh's got a few of those, and I'll go through that quickly. Who else we got on board here? Gavin Lloyd. Hello, Gavin. Samantha Osborne. Brucey Bruce. Right, giving people a chance to come on. I got so much tonight, I can't dwell on anything too long. Alright, so there's a very amateurish cutting off of the music. Right, where do we start? I got pages and pages of notes. The big one, as you saw, is coming out of the research that is being done currently by Mariah Carnegie, who's part of the Britain Hidden History team. She's just done... First thing I want to thank her for... Where's it gone? I just heard Architecture of Power sitting right there. Oh, hang on, Arnie's here as well, doing the production. You can say hello, Arnie?
Hello, everybody. Hello, subscribe to Arnie Presents.
Subscribe to Arnie Presents. There we go. That's Arnie's channel.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Oh, can't quite see you off the edge. Oh, yeah, there's got a smile in there. There you go. So, Architecture of Power. Now, Mrs. Carnegie is a professional proofreader and went through all this, which is great, because we need to keep upping our standards. And there's just lots of little things, you know, about capitals and hyphens and apostrophes and whatever, typos. So all that's now being done. All notes came through to me. It took me a few days then to update everything, make sure the layout was all right. So this is spot on. It's going to the printers. Fingers crossed, we'll start sending them out next weekend or on the following Monday. It's all right. So get your orders in. The £5 discount for ordering before they come back is still there for another few days only. Orders are going well. People who've seen this, I reckon this is going to be the sort of breakout book, if you like, because this just appealed to anybody. I mean, great Christmas present as well, because there's loads of stuff in there. Everyone's here, the Great Fire of London, the Plague, all that kind of thing. Right, okay, another thing, well, I will jump straight in on, so anyway, the research is another book we're going to be working on. I'll just do a little, right, slow down, Ross, take a breath. Right, there's so much going on. Right, the idea is that with all this huge corpus of work that Wilson and Blackett have done, covering a massive array of subjects, and then more is being added in by Britain's Hidden History group members. So it's getting bigger and bigger. Brucey, buy Trojan War book in the description. It's in the description. Hey, yeah, like a proper YouTuber. You can buy books, presents, stuff like that, okay? Oh, I can see the lag on mine. This is all working so well. Right, so we've got this massive body of work, okay? And we have these huge books, like King Arthur Conspiracy, what's it called? Search the Ark of the Covenant. And these books cover many subjects. And what you end up with then, the next book that comes along, like even saying Trojan War, there'll be a bit more about early British history, and then they're amazing books. They're absolutely incredible. But in some ways they are too amazing and they're too big. And I mean, they're a wonderful experience if you've read them. I hope everyone gets a chance to read them. So what I'm trying to do is organise the work to put everything together so it can be easily accessed and compiled. I mean, probably 12 volumes seems to make sense. So, for example, the one, as you know, has been a slight hold-up. Totally my fault. I've got Mark Austin nagging me. Well, not nagging me, asking nicely. He should be nagging me, so I'll get it done. To finish the book, for example, on Britain's hidden Christianity. So that'd be a whole volume. So what we're doing there, we've got unpublished work by Wilson and Blackett talking about the background, how the early religion got started in the Middle East, the background of Jesus, who he was, why it was an important time, all that stuff is all there. Then it goes through the whole story of, you know, the crucifixion and where the Holy Family, and maybe Jesus as well, went afterwards, where they were buried, and how Western Christianity started. What I'm going to do then, to make this a complete volume, is then add into that the existing published works on that subject. For example, I'm sure you all know about Empress Ellen and bringing the cross to Wales, to Nevern, so all that will be in there. And then another chunk on Constantine and setting up the church in Rome, even though he was British, from York. So all that kind of thing. So it'll be a nice volume then, all about that particular subject, okay? That would be the sort of the Christian book, and then it'd be another book on, say, the American connections, all about Maddock, and been talking about that with someone today, actually, all about that kind of thing. And another one is going to be on languages, which is one I'm probably going to do a lot on. If someone else wants to get involved or do it, great. All right, don't feel as though you're stepping on toes. As I always say, this is not scooping the food off someone's plate. It's scooping the water off the sinking ship, because there's so much, okay? So if you want to get involved, get involved. It's great. We had lots of volunteers. The team's getting bigger and bigger, and it's brilliant. So one will be about the languages, like how to read Etruscan and cuneiform even. Well, that's not strictly speaking part of it. But I like to look at Luwian and all these kind of things. And then Colburn, of course. Colburn, Etruscan, stuff like that. So the one part of this which my good friend Mariah's working on, is the migrations, okay? Going right back to looking at Albine and Brutus coming to Britain. And it seems to be you're distracting our viewers on. And then there's the... Oh yeah, talking about Grand Prix. Marvellous, isn't it? There we go. So we're looking at the migrations. So one thing, well, a lot of things, that has been, Mariah's done amazing research for many, many years. We're lucky that she's joining this project, bringing all this knowledge with her. And that volume on the early migrations, who these people were, is, I've already got a draft here, so it's a long way down the line. It's amazing. And one of the things come across then is looking at how confused maybe the stories of Albine, and which is the sort of 1600s migration, BC, and then the Brutus migrations 500 BC, how they might have become tangled up and twisted because there's like overlaps and doubles. It's really clever stuff. I mean, it's, you know, way, way deeper than anything I knew about. So what's come out of that is what we're going to discuss at the end of the show then, which is all about well, you're not going to see that anyway, but I've done some tables for you to look at. We look at back to Hollinshead, History of Britain, which was written a long time ago, which originally was going to be a history of the world, but and then there's a lot of discussion about, because he puts in there ancient British kings, and then some people say it's a myth and it's made up and it's forgeries. Well, a lot of this story trails back to the Vatican, and it does seem to be how this. Well, you'll see at the end of the presentation, but it does seem that a lot of the stuff which has been labelled as forgeries and fakes, as we know, YOLO and people like that, this happens a lot. It's one way of getting rid of inconvenient evidence, and it seems that could be the case here. Which, if we could show the links, is extremely exciting. I mean, it's massive. This is one of the biggest things that's happened with this, because not only does it show more of Britain's history, but it clearly shows the link with Samaria and the migration. So this will be a lot to do with how, why and how all that got. Anyway, you'll see it. Why it would have got buried, and a few people buried with it as well, which is rather tragic to see. All right, okay, so come on to that. Got a few other things to do. Right, first of all, I have promised I will do this one. I want to thank Di Cahill, who's a regular watcher. I'm sure he's here already. But a lot of people I know watch but don't log in. They don't want to log into YouTube, which I totally understand. And my cousin Neil, hello, and Claire, hello, and lots of other people tell me they watch, they don't log in, they don't want to have a YouTube account for their privacy. All understood. But it does mean you can't comment, unfortunately. I am moving more and more of the videos over to BitChute. And we're going to look at this new Brain New Tube, which seems a bit tricky to get bigger videos up. But gradually we're building up there. So if anything ever does happen to YouTube, you know, the world's going a bit crazy at the moment, go over to BitChute. Also the Facebook group would that possibly go. So look for BitChute. And then obviously we've got the website, Britain's Hidden History, and there'll be news and updates there. Heaven forbid any of that kind of stuff started to happen. Oh, some great chat going on there. Once Arnie leaves the Formula 1 out. Yeah. There we are. Now everyone's more interested in the Formula 1. Well, there you go. Right. The first question is Dave. I mentioned last week that this is a silly one to get going, right? Just a bit of fun. Is that we're looking at... we got so many Roberts in this group. I got 5 I work with very closely, and one evening I had all 4 of the 5 called me in a row, and it was almost 5. And it's a little bit of a viewers' competition, alright? Bit of fun, only a bit of fun. I will tell you something briefly about all 5, because then we're thinking the Welsh tradition, when you have popular names, is to add a bit of a nickname to them, okay? Like, I can't remember all the examples Di gave. It was like Di Foot Down, which is the taxi driver and stuff like that, you know? So if you don't know them from the videos, you got Bob Morgan. He's the guy with the impressive white beard who's just does all the working out and the surveying, and when we turn up in places, he just knows, all right? Like, he's done all the work and the research, and fantastic. And he sent me some brilliant things, which I will be sharing with you in the next few weeks. Robert Pierce, so I call him Gandalf generally, okay? We're looking for another name for Gandalf. Of course, you've got Robert Pierce, who's on here now, Legolas. So you've seen him, he's the one jumping around, you know, looking all buff and fit and healthy and all that kind of stuff. Then we got Robert Bevans, who's the one doing all the Babylonian research and the stars, and dragging me up on hills where, you know, it's way too cold, and we're going to be doing a solstice one again, middle of December. Then we got Robert Shaw, who just wrote this. He's a fantastic writer. We got more stuff coming from him. And then there's Robert Edwards, who does the, I want to mention it again, the wayofthewarrior.org, and the link is in the description. Hey, I sound like a professional YouTuber, aren't I? Link in the description stuff. Oh yeah, right, one thing I want to do now, just to, bit of fun here. Hang on. Oh no, where's it gone? Oh, we've got another different... I'm going to show a clip here of this wonderful video that Matt Taylor's put together. Thank you, Matt. The whole thing's 5 minutes long, so I've jumped in. This is sort of the last bit, if you like. I just want to do more of this kind of thing, so thank you to Matthew. And this obviously is talking about the comet, and then Maddock going to make... You can't see it! Oh, stop. I'm enjoying the video and no one else can see it. Alright. I need to press that button. Thank you, Arnie. That's what you're there for, man. Good work. I'll give you the buttons next time. So there we are. We got, for those who don't know, then the Welsh journey. Well, that was a bit quick. There we are. They went over to America, 700 ships, the migration. I love this video. It's great fun. 70,000 Welsh settled in Kentucky. That's where Arthur's supposed to have died. There we go.
bad.
Yeah.
It sounds like it too.
Was that Assassin's Creed? Oh, I hope no one gives me a copyright bust for this. This is the Coida Mustard. Yeah, so my name came up on the video. I was all excited. Plus the Sons, which is you on. Every Sunday 8 o'clock on YouTube. How cool is that? And there's St. Peter's Church, one owned by Wilson and Blackett. I'm sure you all know that one. Well, is he there? Is he there? He might well be there. He's somewhere near there anyway, probably. He was there for a while. Yeah, I'm not sure about Catholic, but the oldest church in the world it could be, yes. And there's the heroic David Ap Arthur. King is dead, and there's Wilson and Blackett, of course. And check out Rich Planet as well. There you are, some great stuff on there. That's what got me starting. And there's some of the books. There we go. Alright. And we got more stuff on that. So thank you very much to Matthew for that one. Cheers. Right, now I got to jump. I got to go too, because there's loads of good stuff tonight. And I can see everyone's... right. Oh. I haven't done this on full screen. Right. What I wanted to show was... We got more stuff from... I'll tell you what I'll do. Right, I want to just share this link with everyone. This is what I meant to put in the link in description as well. This website is just a quick one here. It's called lexigos.com. Put an English Welsh dictionary. All right, you can see at the top. Can you just see it? It has been cut off by my face. It looks like it's just been cut off. Damn it! It's called Lexilogos. I will put the link into the description. What's brilliant about it is all these dictionaries. So anyone trying to do cumbroglyphics, looking up old Welsh words, anything like that, you got a whole long list going right back. This one I didn't know before, 1737 English Welsh Dictionary, which is the one I've been using a bit this week. Pictorial Dictionary, that's interesting. Don't know that one. Anyway, there's loads there. So if you look at old words, it hasn't got some of the old ones. This is another book, Antique, which I've been looking at the last few weeks, Lingua Britannica. And then some fun stuff here about pronunciations and grammar and some of the good old stuff, alright? So all these Welsh books here, as you can see, Mabinogi, all that kind of thing. First Welsh Bible. Fantastic website, alright? Lexilogos, L-E-X. Is that a 1 or an I? Logos. It's an I, yeah. L-E-X-I-L-O-G-O-S. Thank you very much for that one. And again, it was Mariah's having a big week this week. Oh, you off somewhere else?
Yes, 1 second.
Oh, 1 second. Okay, all right. Now, Benny, on Benny Bibles and all that, fantastic. Had a chat, and he has explained to me how you use the technology to have guests. So, was going to have a guest tonight. We're not. I'm going to do it on my own. I'm going to give it a go. I was hoping to get Mariah on to do a little interview about this stuff, but she sent me written notes instead. But next week, don't let him get away with this, right? The Rob Bevans, who does all that amazing work, the alignments and everything, he's going to be on the show next week. We're going to do a link-up thing. Cool. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, that'll be exciting, because it's just in time then, good timing, because the winter solstice is coming up, and I keep telling everyone, very important, there's only a couple more shows before the solstice. So some ideas where to go, how the alignments work, how you can check to see if something, what star it's looking at, all that kind of, it's brilliant. So Bob, I think, is hardly going to sleep all week because he's very nervous already. So don't go easy on him, give him a hard time, alright? Make it hell for him. Right, what else we got? This is fantastic. Look how beautiful this is. I'm just going to check on Arnie's screen that everyone can see it okay. It's a bit shiny. Sorry about that. It's all my amazing studio lighting on me. This, anyway, oh my goodness, I've got to do this justice. I'll angle it a bit, see if that helps. Hang on, let's just check. This is from Karen. There we go, can see a bit better now. This is from Karen Sawyer. Hello, Karen, who's been a great... has been involved in this for a long time, really, since we started. Before we started, Karen is the one who put on what do we call it? The thing, Arc 2. Authentic History, where it was called, where we had people like Alan Wilson speaking live. And Karen's written a book, Dangerous Men, which I was looking at earlier today. I think I haven't got it out somewhere. What I didn't know about Karen, she's a wonderful photographer. So I'm going to try my best to see these. This calendar is all in Welsh, beautiful. Some fantastic landscapes, good. You can see them if I angle it so the light doesn't glare. Ionawr, February, March, all the different months, all that kind of thing. And every month has just got a stunning photograph. They're beautiful. They really are outstanding atmospheric pictures. And you've got little Welsh sayings and things. And there we are, just put a couple more, some stones. So I'd highly recommend those. And I put a link, hey, look at me again. The link on the description. This is sent to me as a gift. Thank you very much for this, Karen. This is very proudly going to fix up behind me there. So every episode, people hopefully will see that. And I hope people order them as a lovely Christmas present for anyone you know or for yourself. Spoil yourself. I think they're great. And next year then, what I'd like people to send in is ideas where we're looking to do a joint calendar next year. Britain's Hidden History. So we'll pick out some of the favourite spots and make that into a calendar. Okay? Right, excellent. So we're cracking along. Well, action-packed film this time. Yeah, I know where my lid went. Right, am I going to go straight in? How are we doing? Yeah, okay, we'll get into the controversial stuff. Shall we? Oh no, I just got... yeah, one of the links, by the way, was to look at... when you look at that list of books I showed you, there's a book there, How to Talk to a Welsh Peasant. Which I love it. It reminds me of the joke about the man drinking out of the sheep water. But those who know it...
Are we meant to be seeing the screen at the moment?
No, not meant to see the screen. That's all my notes and links and where I'm going. It's supposed to be almost like you're just blown the gaff now on. You just torn away the fourth wall. The curtain has been twitched back. Toto has pulled it, and there's their wizard. Alright, here's one. Oh, here's a link. Oh, make a selection first. Oh my goodness, how do I do this? Alright, computer, calm down. Control link. Right, okay. Everything's going to the left. I'm going to push this, drag this to the right a little bit, just so my head doesn't block it out. There we go. This is well worth everyone having a look at, alright? Because this is an alternative confirmation of a lot of the stuff we do in the group, okay? This is called the National CV of Britain. I don't know who's done this particularly. It seems to be an organisation called... Well, let's have a look, shall we? National CV of Britain. I don't know who they are, really. You should always try and find out who people are when you look at things. But anyway, it's an interesting website. And as you know, just to make sure anybody watching for the first time doesn't know too well, this is not a political campaigning channel or group. There's no politics on the Facebook. Life's politics. There's some things you can't avoid discussing. But no contemporary issues, alright? People have whatever views they like. That's their business, but not when we're discussing this. This is exploring history for the sake of finding out and getting back identity, soul, all those kind of things. So if you've got no history, no past, then what do you have to look forward to as a future? That's all it is, okay? What people want to run off and do with the information, that's up to them. Right, this National CV of Britain, what's brilliant about this, it gives, it's an alternative site, if you like, a different direction, and if you look down here, this goes back into the megalithic culture before Sumer and ancient Egypt. Ooh. Put into the Bronze Age. Oh, I see, right. Invented Druidism and engendered Christendom via Helen of Britain and her son Constantine the Great. So a little bit mixed up to the way we look at it, or slightly different. Then also looks at common law, trial by jury, habeas corpus, constitutional monarchy, democracy, all this kind of stuff, age of reason, all these wonderful things. So I don't know what they're doing with this. But there we are. It's interesting to look at some of the history. And what is the best part about this website and why I think it's worth going to have a look at, this nationalcv.org.uk, is all these links you can have a look at. Also a quick look at mining. There we are. I haven't looked at this. See, there's quite a lot of information. Loads of it, in fact. I'm scrolling down. So I would like to spend more time having a look at that, see what they've got on there. Looks very interesting. Megaliths, here we are. That's how we're kind of... There we go. Ice Age, megalithic culture. Alright, so just sharing that because... Where's that one? Sorry. Yeah, gold. Gobekli Tepe. I'm going to do one on Gobekli Tepe soon, a video on that. I don't think it's tens of thousands of years old at all. And I think it might be on the Welsh or British migration trail. Alright, so there you go. This is something I thought I'd share because it's sent to me. And I'm sharing it because there's a load of stuff on there, which is interesting. And let's get back to my notes on here. What's the next thing we got? Right. There was a discussion this week about vitrified forts. And I'm going to whiz through because I want to get to the big one. Hang on, let's do this right. Where's my pictures of caves as well? What do I have to do to get this to open? Control and click. That's it. Come on. Yes, if you're, I'm sure you're aware, there's a lot of discussion about the comet, which would be probably another book by itself in our volumes. Because when people say there's no evidence of the comet, it's just when I don't know where they think the idea came from if it's not real. Some of the amazing imagination came up with this idea one day, hey, let's say the whole thing was wiped out by a comet. And then just plant loads of evidence around the country and make up loads of written records. And to me, there's got to be something as part of this. And for some reason, this link isn't working. Great. Right, what I was going to do is just look at, if you're not aware of it, one of the bits of evidence, physical evidence that you can see, or is claimed to be physical evidence, is the vitrified forts. And what that means is stone that's actually melted and sort of moulded together. They've got two blocks. It's so hot, it melts the stone and they become one thing. Whether or not it makes it stronger or weaker seems to be a discussion point. Right, come on, my computer's jammed on that now. Here we go at last. God, it took long enough, didn't it? Okay, so we're discussing with someone in the group this week about the evidence for it. And what's weird is the more I look at the evidence to disprove it, the more to me it proves that it can't have been man-made, because there's all these experiments that have been done whereby they try and recreate the conditions to melt the stone to show that it was man-made. And there's some weird ideas out there. Honestly, people talk about, they say we're crazy for coming with different ideas. You want to see some of the official ideas. One was saying they're trying to set the whole of these castles on fire. This is current thinking, by the way. This isn't a long time ago. As some sort of display of strength or something by the Romans like the sort of shock and awe tactics. By setting stones on fire. The energy that's required in these experiments.
They just melted their whole castle with a seemingly colossal oven just to show off.
Yes.
Like, we got the biggest oven,
Yes, that's the kind of thing. Yeah. Well, it's funny I should say oven there, because the reason he's saying that, of course, is to make anything melt like this. This is National Geographic about it. The only way they can do it is to use what they call box kilns to get the temperatures. Because the problem is, even with coal, you're lucky to get 500 odd degrees as a maximum temperature, whereas you're going to need well over 1,000 to melt stones, and for some you need 1,500 Celsius. This is, you can more or less double these for Fahrenheit, okay? So what they're saying, you put wooden timbers between the stones when building the model structure. So you build it with the wood, or so you're building it just so you can burn it. I mean, there we go. And they say it weakens a fort. And the experiment really solidified the point of view that weakening a fort was the motive. So why would you build a fort with the wood already in it? Just to weaken it. Arbitrary size composition of the building materials. And it says they're not as good engineers as the people in the Iron Age. Right, I'm not going to go through it all now. I'll just say flag this is coming up. Because one of the things you'll find with this is the temperatures and that just don't work, okay? Because the reasons I just gave. And I recommend people look at more of this. And I was going to show more pictures. I'm aware of the time. I'll do that next week and do a proper video on it. Okay, what else do I have to cover today? Just a quick one. I think I mentioned it already. I did the Goithboys. I just want to show you inside. Rather attractive little sets. So you get this beautiful box. Nice hard quality box. And then you get a board for playing Tavel, which is a sort of Viking version of the game. Then you got the star map, one for the Welsh one. You get your two sets of pieces. And there'll be a printed set of rules which will give you the Irish game Fidgel, the Welsh game, Goithboys, Viking game. And then I think, games is my background really. I used to be a bit of a chess player and all that kind of stuff. And games, alright? So there's clues in the historical records for how you could play a version with dice and gamble and add some chance. And I think I've worked out some good options how you can do that and have a bit of fun. And maybe even put a couple of beers in it. And it could be a fun Christmas gift. And also in there, the upgraded version, if you like, you can also have a little chess set in there. You can use these pieces to play drafts anyway. I would put a chess set in, the whole lot. Alright, so it's a lovely gift. And no one's going to have those under their Christmas tree already, okay? What else is there to mention? Yeah, please, similarly, if people could get copies of the music and Wilson and Baron Blackett's book about St. Patrick, that would really help everything out. And I've got boxes of them. I need, please. They're great presents, and it would really help me out as well. Right, okay, let's crack on. Hang on a second. Just click. Alright, where's my slideshow button? Okay. Right, how are we doing for comments, Arnie? We haven't watching here?
Oh yeah, everything's good.
Quiet, is it? Yeah, always some comments.
So apparently this...
Right, hang on, what's the question?
Creates higher temperatures than a
Oh, right, excellent. Hugh Evans, yeah.
It can turn people into chocolate, so...
Oh, in the
he's saying...
in the Harrison Ford film. No, but yeah, no, Hugh's all about the historical one. Yeah, who knows what the Ark of the Covenant might have been. These not the ruins, joys you're looking for, yes. We got the sun expanded. See, the problem with the sun expanding theory for why all these buildings are burnt is why they're only burnt in certain places. If it's the sun expanding, the whole earth would have that. Whereas the examples seem to be almost exclusively through a swathe through England, really, got the most of it. That's why Lloegr cultures disappeared greatly, because it got destroyed. And then a lot of South Wales got destroyed through southern Ireland. Bits of Gaul on the edges of it also got badly damaged, as is Sweden, South America. So if it's a volcano or a sun or something like that, why wasn't it everywhere else? You know, it's strange. You can almost follow the path. Well, you can follow the path. Major part, yes, Sally Templar, yeah, major part hit Bolivia, and a lot of evidence for that. And one of the things which, thank you for mentioning that, Sally, one of the things always interests me is that Wilson and Blackett's latest research, they're getting a bit old now, I'm hoping to give them a bit of a G-up, almost forgot, please send Christmas cards and messages for Alan and Barham to me this week, because you'd be surprised how time runs out. So if you want to send them a card directly, fantastic, more the better, right? Send them a letter, anything like that. They love to receive it. But if that's not easy for you, or you live abroad, or whatever reason, or you can't get out because of lockdowns, whatever the excuse, whatever the reason, doesn't matter. The thought really does count in this instance. Send me a message, I will print it out, and I'll put it in a bundle. I send them stuff just about every week, okay? And cards, pictures, poems, messages, anything. Bundle it all up and send them. It really, really does help, okay? Alan feels a bit lonely up there quite a lot, alright? So please do that, alright? I'm looking for lots of emails to me or through Facebook, any way you like. Print them and in they go, okay? Yeah, no, the reason I was thinking that, because Alan has got this theory that after the Welsh migrated up to North America, through Kentucky and Appalachians and all that, they gradually had to work their way around through Arizona, down through Central America, and ended up in Bolivia, okay? And it all ties in with the Aztecs. It's a fascinating theory. They're usually right, so still trying to research that, okay? But what strikes me as ironic, of course, is you go half around the world, and that's the other place the comet went. And then something inside me the other day suddenly thought, maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's part of it. So you think, why would you go all the way down to Bolivia? If you're sort of settled in Kentucky and places like that, there might be local pressures, but it's a long way. What about this for a crazy, crazy idea that obviously needs looking into, and it's just an idea, throwing it out there. If this is what's referred to as the dragon, this comet going overhead, and they were able to work out where it's gone, maybe one of the reasons for the migrations and everything was to find out where the dragon ended up. And maybe that's why they ended up in Bolivia. I mean, it took them a long time to get to, believe it, another few hundred years, but still. Anyway, just throwing that out there as a crazy idea, okay? Right, okay. Now, so I've done this as a presentation. Some of it I need to click on to internet. Not really. All right, anyway. All right, bear with me 1 second. Ooh. Uh-oh. What happened there? What's this? Right, okay. Right, if you know about the history of Britain and the history of the ancient kings lists, we're on to the main feature now, okay? A lot of this goes back to someone called, so a special book, which is Holinshead, okay? Not Holinshed, it's Holinshead, right? 1577. There's been a lot of versions of this, and let's talk quickly about it. Raphael Holinshead, 16th century, different spellers, all that kind of stuff. That's not really so important. One of the things that's pointed out by the research that's being done here by Mariah, he's part of a team of 4, and he's not really the key. What is important, though, is, and you'll see John Leyland and people like that were involved in doing this. And I try my best to do this justice, okay? Because it's quite a complicated subject. It's not my area of expertise. I am learning. I've got to read this, the draft book that's been sent through, bits of research. So I'm going to come follow through with me, okay? So I'm just going to read this little bit here. This is Wikipedia, of course. The idea for Holinshead, always interesting to see what sort of mainstream garbled view, whatever it is. This is the kind of accepted stuff, all right? The idea for, which reminds me one at the end. Sorry, I forgot to do one for Lego. Right, the idea for Holinshead Chronicles was born from Reginald or Rayner Wolfe, a London printer. Wolfe was one of the original members of the Royal Stationers' Company. In 1548, Rayner Wolfe conceived the idea of creating a universal cosmography of the whole world. Those are the days, eh? And there with also certain particular histories of every known nation. He wanted the work to be printed in English, and he wanted maps and illustrations in the book as well. I know the feeling. Wolfe acquired many of John Leyland's works, and with these, he constructed chronologies. This is a key bit. Lists of dates and kings and battles and things like that. And drew maps that were up to date. This book took 24 years of his life. Alright, so anyone who had thought waiting for Trojan War was a long time, took him 24 years. However, when Wolfe realised he could not complete this project on his own, he hired Holinshead and Harrison to assist him. I think there was one more. Alright, so that was the team. I'll tell you a little bit more about the book. You can read this yourself, it's easy enough to find. The point was, they printed this vast book. The Privy Council took bits out about Ireland that were controversial. They took out some other bit. This book is very important, alright? Because in the Renaissance, this inspired a lot of what happened. You can see here, for example, Shakespeare took a lot of his historical plays from the information in Holinshead's Chronicles. So it's a very, very important book, okay? Shakespeare wrote about them, King Lear, who's at sea. People don't realise this. How many Arnie, thank you, Arnie. Right, sorry. So, we're back on, right?
Yeah, we're on now.
Oh, yeah, sorry, the thing came out the back. Right, so we got King Lear, who's it's actually confirmed here, an 8th century Welsh king. I wonder how many people go and watch Shakespeare and realise how much of Shakespeare is set in Wales. Loads of it. Midsummer Night's Dreams in the Wye and all this kind of stuff. And lots of the historical characters, as you see there. I think most people know Macbeth is the Scottish play. So that's one thing, but they don't realise how much of it's actually Welsh. Anyway, so you got all that. So it's an important book, all right? This is a point I want to make. Now, come on, this John Leyland character. So he was the English poet and antiquary. All right, so you can read all about him. The point of these, reason we're mentioning it, is because we're trying to put together. Let's just jump. You can have a read of that when you want to. Leyland, there we are, that's the picture I wanted. Right, the reason this is important is because if we're going to try and find ancient British kings, you've got to find all the information you can. And there's very little of it available. And what is available has been sort of rubbished, ridiculed as being myth. Alright, so it's going to take some minutes now. So I'm just reading some notes that Mariah sent to me, okay? So Richard Holinshead was only one of 4 contributors to what had been intended by his publisher Reynard Wolfe to be a world history drawing on the works of John Leyland. John Leyland believed firmly in the historical authenticity of Arthur. See, King Arthur comes into this as well. And vigorously rebutted Polydore Virgil's casting doubts on certain elements in the Arthurian legend in his Anglia Historica published in 1534. Leyland was an antiquarian, an early archaeologist, visiting and making notes upon hill forts, megaliths and coins, among other artefacts. Imagine what walking around Britain would have been like in those days. I mean, so many monuments and things have been destroyed or removed or built over. There must have been so much history everywhere, because there's still a lot now. Anyway, back to the notes. Both he and Holinshead were in a position to consult the work and to work on. This is where we get to the Vatican connection, okay? Annius of Viterbo. Some Latin. Excellent. Thanks a lot, Maria. I'm using my glasses to read Latin. That's my lack of a classical education lets me down, eh? Brosi sacerdotis Chaldiaci antiquariatum Italia Actotius orbis libri Quinca, which included a list of British kings. If genuine, this is the key, because this, just to point out, I don't think it's here necessarily, Viterbo draws on work that goes all the way back to 3rd century, and I believe that's 3rd century BC. We are talking really old records. These would be the oldest historical records in the world, probably, apart from like pyramids and hieroglyphs and things. But anyway, so this old history included a list of British kings. So if genuine, this is enormously valuable because it neatly fits between Albine and Brutus. So what we're trying to do is, there's questions, which I think, having read a lot of the work already, Mariah's brilliantly answered. Questions I've always had, like, why would people follow Brutus? Why could Brutus just turn up in Britain and not have to fight a war with the people already there? How they divide up the land? Why was there not a conflict between those already migrated with Albine and those coming over with Brutus? Why were these people not fighting each other all the time? What happened to the earlier migrants, the Lloygrins? Why have we got the Cymry in Wales, Lloygrins in England, loose terms, Albanaticus and the Scots up in Scotland? She's bringing it all together. It's amazing, all right? This is just like a little snapshot here, okay? This isn't even in the book yet. I think you'll have to go in now. Right, so what we have here. That's right. So however, nothing is as simple as that. Berosus himself is described as a... Now, Berosus is the key. There's a guy here called Berosus. I don't have a picture of Berosus, but I do have the list to show you in a second, all right? Oh, that's interesting. If I press that button, I've changed the hotkeys. Now it changes what comes up on there. Berosus himself is described as a Babylonian writer, a priest of Bel Marduk, and an astronomer. He was active at the beginning of the 3rd century BC, drawing on ancient Babylonian records and texts that are now lost. A supremely important work of his on ancient Sumerian history, beginning with the arrival of Oannes in the Red or Reed Sea, was translated into Armenian and then into English and survives, happily for our general researches into the connection between Britain and Sumer. I'm not sure how much I was told, how much is in the notes. I'm going to jump in. You might get this bit twice, because this is the bit that just leapt out and really shattered my thinking in a way. Not my thinking, but the importance of the work this man did. He was considered a real expert and writing about his own areas. And you'll come on to Viterbo as well in the 15th century. Actually, let's just follow the notes. Morera, fine, doesn't need me to jump in. I'll say something at the end if it's not there. So we've got this ancient document, right? 3rd century BC, talking about Samaria. This is important because this is where the British migration is supposed to come from. Not just the Welsh. We're talking English, Scots, all sorts, okay? Maybe Somerset means people of Sumer, and we've got Surrey meaning the Syrians. It's all that same area. It's crucial, okay? So, Annio de Viterbo, 1432 to 1505, so 1400s, was a Dominican friar, or Dominican, some people say. A scholar, a historian, a master of theology, lector, and so highly esteemed by popes, so highly esteemed by popes that one of them, Alexander VI, made him master of the sacred palace, or theologian to the Pope, no less. This guy was the top. The Pope put him in charge of his, well, the learning. He would have had complete access to anywhere in the ancient works, right? Things that people like us could never even dream of getting through the door, before the door. He had the run of the place. And he was putting together his own histories. And of course, one of his major interests, because of his background, was to look at the old Babylonian history and this Middle Eastern history, which is supposed to be the roots of where the British come from. This is why this is so crucial. Right, so Alexander VI made him master of the sacred palace, or theologian to the Pope, no less. Now, what he did, right? So imagine this now. We got this guy. He's made to the top of the tree, incredibly trusted. He's got access to all the ancient libraries. He's particularly interested in certain areas like the Babylonian, the Samaria, and what inevitably he's going to come into the concept of the migration and Britain. So he's following all this, and it's going, wow, this is fantastic. Look at this. I've hit the mother lode. It'd be like me walking in there, or probably most of the people watching this. If you suddenly got the keys to the Vatican library, like, oh my God, I've just found all the stuff. Look. All about Samaria, Babylonia. There's the migration details. They went to Britain, and there's a list of all the kings. There it all is. You'd be like, it's amazing. I'm just going to put it all out there, right? That's what you'd think you'd do. And that does seem to be what he did. So what happened? Okay, so we get into the gruesome bit about how this has all been, how we don't know about it, how no one knows about it. All right? So hang on a second. What they accused him of, when this came out, and if you follow this at all, you can imagine why there would be so much fuss, because obviously the church in Rome claims primacy. It's the first church. It's the founders of Christianity. The first bishop of Rome is Paul. It's not Linus, the one mentioned in the Bible, the British guy. No, it has to be Paul. And the Christianity started in Rome. It didn't start in Britain. All this has to be wiped out. And this is way back then, right? I always talk about Hanoverians starting this cover-up. Way back then, this is 15th century, and before that, hundreds and hundreds of years, we're going right back to, well, 1st century, almost 2,000 years, this whole British side of things had to be removed. Like, I think someone mentioned on the comments there, when the burning down of the library in Alexandria, for example, when it was controlled by the Coptics, was that 3rd century or something AD, I think it was. Anyway, either side of zero, all right? But the point was, do you think all these learned people would just destroy everything? Or do you think there's a good chance they either made copies or took out the important things they really wanted to know and put it in their own libraries in the Vatican and then burnt it down so they'd have the only copies? If you're a person of learning, and you want knowledge, and you want power, and you want to contain it, it's so difficult, I would think, to destroy the last copy. You'd want the last copy. You don't want anyone else to have it, because knowledge is power. But if the knowledge is destroyed, the power of that knowledge is also gone. So what seems to have happened is, 15th century, Anno di Viterbo has come along, hit the mother lode, and thought, I'm going to publish this lot, right? And he's the top man. He's trusted by the Pope. He's not. So anyways, the accusation is he's accused of forging an entire compendium of ancient works. How many years it must have taken him to do this? And this work of Berosus, consulted and recorded by Leyland, and called inevitably the pseudo-Berosus, is among them. This begs a question. Why should a Roman Catholic monk be so interested in ancient British history that he will risk his entire career in wholesale forgery, which must have taken years? Is this even likely? Is the verdict of history the correct one, as pronounced by Joseph Justus Scaliger? Scaliger. That, I keep meaning to do. I've got to do a video on Scaliger. In case you ever wondered, when you're reading your history books and you're thinking, oh yeah, we got the Greeks and the Romans and this and that and the Civil War, blah, 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 all the way up. Who decided originally where to put all these things? The guy is called Justus Scaliger. Actually, I always think it was Julius Scaliger, as in Julius Caesar, but there we are. Justus. Maria, well, I'm sure she's right. Not me. But someone has to make this ladder of all the years and epochs. If you imagine a ladder with struts across it, and then all historical events, like little coat hangers, you can hook them on. Well, he's the one who put the ladder in place and put the first hooks in place. And if you look into him, sort of 17th century, he didn't have an awful lot of information to go on. It wasn't like a massive undertaking of hundreds and hundreds of people trying to put the history of the world together. This bloke just did it, really. And that's remained the basis ever since. I'll tell you, the more you look into this hidden history, it's not just British hidden history. It's bringing everything. It's just weird. Anyway, so Justus Scaliger, or Julius Scaliger, I thought he was. And I will do a video on him. I'll put him in for next week. Because it's called Scaligerian dating, if ever you're wondering. The person who decided, the Romans were 400 BC to 400 AD, and this was then. He's the one who put that basic ladder in place for everything to be hooked on, okay? And the more you look into him, he's not very convincing on why the whole thing hasn't been looked at completely from scratch. Since then, I have no idea. Unless you read Fomenko and the Russian historians and New Chronology and all that, who might have gone a bit too far. But they do make some good points in doubting what he's done, okay? Anyway, so Scaliger had formed an unfavourable opinion of the English, because he was moving around Europe, being persecuted and stuff, and got into religious troubles and all sorts of things. I think he ended up in Belgium or Holland, who weren't getting on very well with the British. So anyway, this is Scaliger, right? This is a quote from Scaliger. Formed an unfavourable opinion of the English. Their inhuman disposition and inhospitable treatment of foreigners, especially making a negative impression on him. So this is the guy who's basically the father. Look up Scaliger. Scaliger. You will have a shock. I had a shock when I found out this, years ago. Everything's based on what he said. So, or did Annio perhaps come across a secret body of papers in the Vatican's library upon which he based his compendium? Is this, in short, an example of the smear tactics which the Vatican has always been notorious? Anyone who has read In God's Name by David Yallop, can you follow the comments, will know what this means. Annio had as many believers as detractors. This wasn't just one lone wolf conspiracy theorist sitting in his cellar with the internet. This was the top guy in the Vatican. Plenty of people followed his version of events, including, it would seem, Leyland, for example, who based his Hollinshead Chronicles on, it would seem, accessing this information, which of course is now almost nearly all gone. How does that happen, eh? It's amazing. It happens in a lot of libraries and museums, isn't it? Crucial evidence just disappears somehow. Their main job is to keep stuff like this safe. There we go. So anyway, so Annio, he published a translation. Sorry, Richard Lynch, that's going back to the printer, remember at the beginning? He's also believed it. He published a translation of Annio's work in 1601 under the title of An Historical Treatise of the Travels of Noah into Europe. A bit of a weird title when you look at it from our perspective. But what he's really referring to, of course, is their migration, which indicates a fair degree of confidence in his source material. It is a thousand pities, I agree with you, Maria, that what we have of Barosius's work survives only in other people's, so we cannot check for ourselves. So he's got references to Barosius' work. This is where we are going to come around this circle in a minute. Back to Hollingshead. If Annio di Viterbo was another of the Vatican's countless victims, we have at the moment no way of knowing for sure. The Catholic Encyclopedia is surprisingly kind about him, but nowhere can I find how he ended his days. What happened to him? Did he go the way of the likes of Galileo and others like that? Or anybody really who came up with the information. You think how much the reaction was to what might be considered less sensitive information? I mean, even Scaliger went through persecution and stuff. You know, he was, what do you call it today? Probably called hate mail today or something like that. What he went through was quite frightening. And he was doing nothing compared to Viterbo, who was basically uncovering, the British, look, they come from the Middle East, they come from Samaria, here's the migration. Here is the list of kings, which I've been teasing you with for ages. So we're almost there. So in the meantime, there's this bit there. Working on the assumption that Hollingshead's list is genuine, just for the sake of argument, okay? And that Annio di Viterbo was indeed the victim of a vicious stitch-up by the Vatican, I gave free rein to the germ of an idea at the back of my mind. Right, because halfway down the list, let's just check. Yep, okay. Alright, hopefully you can all see this. So this is not all of it. This is part of the list, and I'll show you some more examples that Mariah's put together. So all these names would be unfamiliar to us, although not all of them necessarily, as you'll see. So as we trot down this list, I hope you can see my little arrow moving up and down. I can never tell if you can see it. Just about. I need to get a brighter coloured arrow or something. Anyway, Samothus, Magos, Saronius, Druius, Bardus, Longo, Bardus Jr., Lucas, Celtus. This is the interesting one here, look. Albion, okay. This Albion is... let's see if any of this is familiar from other stories we know from history. Albion was said to be a giant. He is said to have sailed across the seas, and he's said to have 33 sons. Any of that ring any bells? Yep, well done, those who get that. What we're looking at there is the same as the Albine migration story. When they turned up, actually, so we get a bit of mixing up, because Brutus turned up, supposed to have fought the giant. Albine's supposed to have sailed the seas, and if you remember that Albine, who was... the 33 comes in again, because actually you're mixing up the daughters marrying into the sons. All these very familiar themes, alright? And then Celtus back again, because Albion the giant gets slain. So we really need to dig in to find out what all this is about, alright? Galates, Harborn, Lugdus, Belligius, Lasius, Alabrox. Now, Romus and Paris. We'll have a look what dates they might have been. And if they tie in with the famous, obviously, Romulus and Remus, who founded Rome. Paris, which I always think of as Priam's son in the Trojan Wars, but also, as Mariah keeps pointing out to me, her expertise is etymology and word searches and the history of words. That Paris forms things like Parise, and lots of different things come from that. I think even Pharisees all come from a similar root. So this is we're going way back. Okay, so. You might want to pause on that list a second. And there's more. Oh, actually, there's a couple more off the bottom. Yeah, if we add to the bottom of that, Madaug, Mumbir, very Welsh spellings. And you get 20 generations from Albine, not to Brutus, right? But to Ebraucus the Mighty. So what then done is... I know it looks a bit... I could present this a little bit better, perhaps. All that's happened here, the dates on the left are not real dates. There's kind of like assumed dates, or just to give a flavour. What Mariah's done here is take an average of 24.7 years per generation, which is about right if you look at any kind of this period. It's usually about 21 to 25 years. Even if you do get one king with a long reign, it usually means the next one doesn't last very long. They were difficult times. Or even in modern times, you find it's not much different. Apart from the current Queen of England, if you take her out of it, You go through the previous few generations, it's still about the same. Anyway, let's not get distracted. 24.7 is a reasonable assumption, okay? So an average of 24.7 years per generation, starting with Pictus. Since Madog and Mumbi and the length of their reigns are already known about, this is exactly right for the missing 420 years before Madog. So this is the kind of dates we'll be looking at there. Alright, so it's not up to Brutus, it's up to this guy, Ebraucus, or Efraug. We'll learn a little bit more about who some of these people are, okay? This means that not only do we have a complete list of monarchs of Britain after Albine, but we also know who became before her, which we'll look at another time. Because this is just a little excerpt from the list. The list is massive, okay? And it shows a civilization going back, well, a couple of thousand years, never mind hundreds. In addition, it probably means that the missing works of Berosus are still in the Vatican Library, where Annio de Viterbo made his startling and dangerous discovery 550 years ago. The original's probably still there, or a copy of it. Why would you throw it out? Or you wouldn't destroy it. You'd put it safe, perhaps. This is why we call it hidden history, Britain's hidden history. Not neglected or forgotten. It's hidden. People know this stuff, and they keep it from us, okay? So in the next instalment, you got me all excited now, am I right? It's worse when I read the introduction to a book. I'm like, where's the rest of it? It's all I haven't written it yet. And it's like, So in the next instalment, we will see if we can get behind some of the names using a Sumerian dictionary. A lot of them look like Frankish, Trojan. Perhaps we can conjecture from this that some of Albine's people crossed the Channel. Let's go through some of those dates. From the coming of... there's a quote here. Where's this quote from? I think it must be from Hollinshead. From the coming of the Cimbric. It's another confusion. You know the Cimbric? They would seem to be linked to the Cymry, if not the same people, okay? So from the coming of the Cimbric nation, the invasion by the Sumerian princess Liwirimetatsu, daughter of Dungi, another thing which Alan Wilson has got right, Dungi, of or Ur, at the time of Ebraucus, who was Efraug in the Welsh records, the mighty is 500 years. That's period of oral tradition and chronologies. So, okay, so we're almost there. How are we doing now? Oh, lovely. And then, let's just give you a chance to freeze all these, alright? Now, this is... Well, hang on. Yes, so I should have mentioned this. If you look at the top one, there's that name I just struggled over. Princess Liwirimetatsu of Sumer, later called Albin. So when we talk about the Albine migrations, her actual name could well have been, seems to have been, Liwirimetatsu, okay? And then come over to Madug, and this is the one who colonised Albion. And then we look at the dates, 1560s. It's hard to be exact in any of these. What's happened?
Mr. Hartel was saying, arrived late, what are you reading from?
Oh, well, that is late. Hello, Paul, we're just finishing. Very nice to hear, Paul. Well, just quick recap for anyone coming in late is we're drawing the links here between throw me now, Hollinshead, the Hollinshead Chronicles, which is a historical book that a lot of people like Shakespeare and Marlowe and all sorts of people drew on. Hollinshead drew by going back to a person called Berosus. My notes all over the place, I've took it from memory. And what one of our people here, Mariah Carnegie, has done, looked into this, where Berosus got his original information from, was, I'm going to have to look at the name again for this one, let's get it right, a historian writing way back in the 3rd century. And all this has been presented as a forgery, and Hollinshead was all based on some forgery. Make sure it doesn't come out. But as you'll see, when you get a chance to look back through the video, it seems very unlikely that it was a forgery. This was the top man in the Vatican wrote this, Berosus. He had no incentive to do it. He seems to have genuinely discovered some ancient information, brought it to light, saying, wow, look at this, I've just found stuff which shows the British going back to ancient Sumer. Here's a list of the kings. Isn't this all wonderful? and not so wonderful for him because he was smeared, and that was kind of the end of his career, really. And we're not even sure how he ended up. So that's what tends to happen to people who expose all this kind of thing. Not anymore, though, of course. So, well done on that. So that's what we're looking at here. So these king lists, going back to Hollinshead, and the research that Mariah's done before that as well, gives us something to look at. So we got some of the bottom ones there, and the next page I want to look at particularly. This is where it gets interesting, because Celtes, and I mentioned this as well. Oh, here's a good one. When I was talking earlier to Mariah about this, the top one we got Celt. You know, one of my pet bugbears is British, Welsh and Irish getting called Celtic. They're not. They're a tribe in France. And I mentioned to Mariah that the word Celt, if you look it up in an Old Welsh dictionary, means concealed or hidden. And quick as a flash, he said to me, oh, like occult. Celt, occult. Another one of those Welsh words or British words that's crept into the mainstream vocabulary. Occult seems to come from Celt. So there you go. Anyway, welcome, Paul, to the programme. The payoff, if you like. These are the final ones. So what we got here is some of the Vatican and the missing British kings here. So if you look through, you will find some interesting notes about each one. And like I said, specialities looking into the words and where they come from. So you got Lugdus. So Lugdus is both a British and Celtic deity that means light. So a lot of these things. Part of me, I got this nagging thing in the back of my mind, which I need to discuss with Mariah about, is that when you'll see when the Britain's Hidden History comes out in a few weeks, I haven't seen that for ages, I do apologise, you can see things have been busy, is that one of the very subtle things that was done on some of the old Welsh lists, chronologies, and one of the reasons they don't match up, one of the things people say they're false or forgeries or just made up, is because they don't match with each other. Well, what Wilson and Blackett worked out by absolute genius was the King's List held information. So you'd have, I haven't discussed this with Mariah yet, so she might shoot me for saying this now, but I'm sure I'd be interested. So what you would do is you put the first few names would be names that everyone recognises. So on the Welsh ones, you might go back to Belly Mawr or something like that. So you have the first two or three recognisable. You'd make the last two or three recognisable names. So like if you're Hywel Dda, you know, Hywel the Good. So Hywel Dda, and it'd be a couple of his generations before that people would recognise. What you could then do, because don't forget, at this most of its history, Wales has been a country under persecution, where even having a pen could get you executed. You know, writing history and things like that was strictly verboten, you know, not allowed at all, by pain of death. So what you would do is the middle part of the list would not be a list at all. And this is what they worked out. What you would then do is tell a story, well, not the list, it's the story of the fact that Jesus did not die on the cross and he came to Britain. And you can read the Welsh words. Safe in the assumption that... I don't want to make this an anti-English thing, okay? Because this is British history, and the English have lost more than anybody. Keep emphasising this. It's not a Welsh thing. The Scots, English, Irish, anybody in this country, whether an immigrant, whether you've lived here for hundreds of years, whatever, the Lloegr English history has completely gone. English people think they're Saxons, right? Real British history, that English history has lost more than anything. It's completely gone. So what you would do to hide this information is put them in lists. And I look at these lists and I just see a little bit of that possibly thrown in here. Maybe they're not all names. So I just looking at translations and stuff, and you got light and... Anyway, I'd like people to have is this anything to do with Jesus? Interesting. Yesi. Yesi was known to the Druids long before the time of Jesus. Yes, Yesi is part of the old Druidic Trinity. What have we got? Oh my goodness, brain's gone mad. Taran is thunder, and then Yesi's the last one. I can't remember the second one off the top of my head. Anyway, the Trinity. They're one of those things which ties Druidism to Christianity. Which I forgot to mention in the discussion earlier. Someone was asking me about it. Now, this is interesting. Harbon probably has the same... When you got Habren, which is the same route as Severn, the River Severn, and also chevron. If you know a chevron's that kind of shape. Okay, and if you look at the logo or coat of arms for Glamorgan, you'll see 3 chevrons, which goes all the way back to ancient Egypt. If you look at that, when they draw in their bulls and faces on the hieroglyphs, on the pictograms, you'll see with 3 eyebrows, which seems to be the same as the Glamorgan chevrons. There's more about that in the Cameroglyphics book, which the second edition's coming out soon. Steve and those people, the publishers watching, if you're watching this, it's almost done. It's great to rewrite, okay? Needs to be out there, though. I know. I'm trying to all hours. Okay, all right. So now we got Alabrox, which means foreigner, exiled, those from another country. So I'm starting to get the feelings that they might... Celtis is hidden. You got the powerful people there, Galates. Anyway, I'd be interested to see if this is a message here. Maybe hidden. There we go. Hopefully it's a list of kings, though, as well. It can be both, by the way. Just not always using their most well-known names. Anyway, this is the... Go to the big ones. Romulus. Is that tied with Romulus and Remus? The legend of the finding of Rome. Looks a little bit early to me. I think all these dates should be shuffled forward. And anyway, Mariah will have worked this out and she will show me how. Like I say, I'm quite new to a lot of this. While I'm throwing ideas out here is not to... This work is fascinating. It's absolutely crucial. It's huge. The reason I'm asking questions and throwing things out there, I want people to look at this and come up with their own thoughts, translate the names. Oh, that's right, Paris, the Percys. See what you can come up with, you know? Let's take it on. See if you can think, what are the books we should be looking at? What are the sources? How can we take this further? Because it really is, well, it's enormous, you know? This, it's done that thing again. Oh, yeah, you seeing me anyway. I'm still seeing this presentation. I can't get rid of it. Can't win, can you? So, oh my goodness. All right. So time's okay. I'll try to make it so I can see some of the comments as well. Arnie's so fascinated by the subject matter, he hasn't... Alright, you there? You want to come in? You shuffle up? There we are. Go sit next to your old man. Look, there you go. Everyone see you. For the feedback I get, people are more interested in seeing the boys than me, so there we are. You come in there. There we are. Looking at nice. There we are. Right, so, yeah. Right, I've got some comments to read. Okay. Right. Ewbrow. There you are. See? Robert York spotted one straight away. City of one of the old Welsh names there, Ewbrow for York. Scaliger scoundrel. I think Scaliger, in fairness, Harry, was a Protestant, I think. Anyway, the present delusion emanates there, as does the Big Bang that they intend to destroy most of us is no secret to intelligent man, right? Pictus in that list. Thank you, Hugh. Yeah, there was a Pictus. I know that ties, and I know that talking to Mariah, and please, this is not my specialist subject, this ancient stuff I am starting from scratch, along with Babylonian history and about 5 other things. It's so much going on, it's great. But the Picts will also be the same word root as Scythians, apparently. So there is some saying in that. Anyway, so we got, all dates are coming in. Up with occult meaning hidden. Yeah, Celt. Celt means hidden, and from Celt we get occult. Occult means hidden. Siege all the way to something. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Well, it's more Mariah's work, this one. I'm trying to get more people, more brains on it, right? More brains on the subject. All helps. What was I going to say? Right, something completely different, does it? There seem to be things hidden in the Bible and lists of names. Yes, you are quite right, Chris. I would suggest, and I haven't looked into this, but I would suggest someone research into it. When you look at the begat, is the old King James version. Those lists of kings and who followed who and who was father of and son of. I thought for a long. I thought this before, Chris. Thank you for bringing it up. Maybe there are messages in those lists, and they're not strict genealogies necessarily. Just putting it out there with a lot of this stuff. So please look out for this. Can you pass that blue folder? Be very careful because there's stacks of stuff in it. This is my to-do reading list. Don't worry about the cards on the top. Thank you very much. So this, I'm just going to give people an idea. I get in trouble now. I know this is right. What my just to give a little. So it's all typed up. Just so you know, these things are happening. You might be able to read them from there. We've got tons of stuff. It's coming out as fast as we can publish it. Do need help and support, though, all right? Particularly on the sales front. Please, please, please. It'd be a tragedy if we ran out of money because I got boxes full of books and tapes. Or CDs, sorry. Gosh, show my age, aren't I? Tapes. So all this goes covering, this is tons of research here, all about how we can trace Brutus and who he was. And what I love about Mariah's work is she's classically changed and really knows her classical histories and everything. And can bring in all the Roman writers as well. And show them how it all ties in. I know it ties in with Britain. I've seen some of the findings, how it's working. It is staggering. This is game-changing stuff, okay? So keep spreading the word. Keep getting more people involved. There's so much evidence swamping down that it's well, I don't know how is it possible to ignore it all. And we got more Wilson and Blackett books coming out as well. Now, there is some effect. I just want to show. Thank you very much to Legolas for bringing this to my attention. That nickname's got to change now. Don't forget, there's a competition. Send me suggestions. What we're going to call all the different Robs, Bobs, Bobbies, and Roberts. All right. Because I've also got 2 other friends called Robert. And my mother's neighbour, he's Robert as well, isn't he? Oh, it's a 4-second delay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the one you... Robert, yeah. So my life is surrounded by Roberts and Gareths for some reason. You might recognise this. We're back on to Arthrois. Now, I wish I'd screen saved this, and if someone could start screen saving this, please do so, because I think it's one of my old videos from a few months ago. It's just something... It seems to Robert, and I agree with him 100%, this is slowly changing. The stuff about King Arthur is becoming more and more softer towards the British version of events. So his central figures in the legends making up the matter of Britain, which is the medieval histories there. We talked about Geoffrey of Monmouth. Not his real name, of course. Can you remember his name? Yeah, one of Arthur's relatives. Anyway, so it talks a lot more about Welsh and Breton tales. A lot more Welsh is coming in. Okay? So it does seem to change. Can anyone remember? Or anyone saved it or anything like that? I'll have to look through. And if you look through, a lot of it was like, it's a load of rubbish and it's nothing at all. But it does seem suddenly... the other text that seems to support the case for Arthur's historical existence is the 10th century Annales Cambria, which also link Arthur with the Battle of Baden. The Annales dates this battle to 516 to 518. See, we're getting nearer. The timescale's coming in. If you just sort of allow for the 33 years difference between dating from the birth to the death of Christ, then you get pretty much the same dates that Alan Wilson's been on about for years. And also mention the Battle of Camlan, which is where I am going soon to, Camlan, in the depths of winter. Ooh. And you can see the battlements there, in which Arthur and Medrawd, see the Welsh spans are coming in, Modred are both killed. Well, I don't think Arthur was killed, actually. I think that's mistaken the way it's been read. Gwalchmai and Medrawd were killed. Arthur was wounded, taken away, recovered. Anyway, so these have been used to bolster confidence. Alright, and one thing I wanted to just check on here. If you haven't seen this before, it's quite amusing. Oh, we've got Arthur at 605 to 655 now. Okay. And he's the son of Myrig, alright? So don't forget, alright? This little funny, Rob pointed this out to me a while ago. Arthur, born in 605. His father... where's his father's dates? Oh, there we are. Here we go. He was in power sometime before 470. So say he took the throne when he was 20 years old, that's pretty young. Then his son was born when he was 157. So fair play to old Myrig. So hopefully his stuff will start to catch up soon. And he's said to be buried in Llandaff Cathedral. As we haven't seen Monica this evening. But as Monica likes to remind us, he's buried in Llandaff. Oh yeah, the other thing, I remember now. The other thing which was seems to be getting a bit of recognition, I don't know if we're having an effect or it's just coincidence, is Money the Gair, or Money the Gair. Let's give it its proper South Wales pronunciation. Money the Gair. And Money the Gair is the hill that Wilson Blackett bought the site of the church on the top of. Which, oh man, I've got so much more stuff to show on that. Try and do it next week. Or during the week. And it says here, there's a Caer Craddock tumulus at the eastern end of the Mynydd, which is still displayed on the OS maps. That is, according to local legend, that's a start, the burial place of Craddock. Nearby are the burial mounds of Myrig and Arthur II, who resisted the Saxons in the 6th century. So Myrig has just jumped forward 100 years, and Arthur's gone back a bit, and they're finally meeting where they should be in the 6th century. So there you go. It seems to be changing slightly. Right, anyway, one last happy thing to finish on. And this is great. And I want to say a special thank you to Richard Evans. I'm getting so many presents this year. It's lovely, right? The calendar just reminds you from Karen. And I'm going to put... I'm going to be like a professional DJ now. Watch this. Watch this, Benny. Saying I should... me and my big mouth. Why did I say that? Oh, I never know. Maybe you'll do this jockeying on there one day. Oh, yeah, I can nail that. No problem, mate. Come on. I can just gently fade in a track. Put it in the background while I'm talking. No problem. Yeah, I can talk all day like this. Right, anyway, so, complete loss of... Oh, yeah. We're on me, aren't we? Are we on me? No, we're not on me. Let's go back on me. Christmassy sounds. Richard, complete surprise, dropped by. He'd been down to Cardiff. He's from North Wales. He's a Gogsy. To see his friends, and he got me some lovely presents. I'm going to show that one last.
Oh, what's this?
Ah, you haven't seen all these, have you? Ah, you're out playing, you see. You had rugby today, wasn't it? This says... Look at that. Isn't that lovely? I think I'll come up with the camera. Nah. Oh, let's put it the right way up. There we go. Ah, it's so bright here, these lights. Nadolly Clowen, yeah, with a little belly kind of...
Snowman.
Yeah, snowman with a carrot sticking out. Look, it's cool, isn't it? So we also got... These are not for sale from my site. There's just presents from Richard. Thank you very much. Next year, we have some Britain's Hidden History bells and things. I love all this kind of stuff, by the way, in case you're wondering. Anything like this. How my boys do.
This is now an unboxing.
Look at this. An unboxing video. See? Got the jargon. Only get a bit nearer. There we are. I can see you then. I'll move up a bit. There we are. Come here. Unboxing. And this says Carnarvon. See? I'm not anti-North Walians or Gogs. Richard's one of my good friends I've made through doing the Britain's Hidden History. It's brilliant. This lockdown is really messing things up a bit at the moment. When you get a chance, go out with other people, see the sights. There's no better way to make friends. Oh, pick it up on. I just dropped it.
Doofus.
I know I'm a doofus. I know, that's the important thing as well. It's okay. It's okay. It's wood. It'll survive. Out walking for the day for a good few hours. Get some exercise. Get the blood pumping. Maybe pop into a bar after have a pint. Chat with not like-minded. I don't like that because it implies you can't disagree. You can disagree as much as you like. People with similar interests. There's no better way to make friends. Get some exercise. Enjoy some countryside. Enjoy the scenery, okay?
Oh, you're frozen.
No! Don't freeze now! No! Stay with me. Can you still hear me, can you?
Yeah.
Alright. I can unfreeze it.
And it's frozen
I can't
a
remember.
horrible picture too.
Well, that'll cheer Arnie up. See if he's frozen in that situation. What do you call that? A meme, innit?
Memes.
Meme frozen with me poking my tongue out or something. I look terrible, didn't I? Oh, I don't know what's going on now. Anyway, I don't know why that suddenly froze.
You were like this.
I know. I looked a bit like you, I thought. You gotta be careful, you know. Everyone says you look like me, so you wanna be, you'll make that be a good thing, don't you? Stab himself rather than go up with that. Anyway, so what's the next one? Because as you know, Christmas has been good on in our house since October, right? Anyway, there's bell. I was going to put them on the tree, but then people can't see them. I'm going to try and rig something up so everyone can see them when we do the videos, I think. Yeah, can you read that one? There we are. There's one test for you on.
Irwitha.
Not bad.
Irwitha.
Roiva, I think it is, but yeah, Irwitha, yeah, could be, this rubbish, world's most rubbish, DJ here. Hang on. Oh, Crystal Fire and Blues, not that very often. There we go. Oh yeah, we do. It's just every video. Roiva, if you don't know, that's the one for Snowdon. That's the Welsh name for Snowdon, up in North Wales. But where's the last one?
You had it.
Oh yeah, you dropped it twice. This is my favourite. This could become like, I was going to come out wearing this on a little button or tied to my jumper or something. Can people see that? It's just slightly low on the camera and I better put it a bit higher up here. Oh, it's too bright. You can't read it. I'll angle it. Let's see if you can angle it. This lighting setup I got is great for seeing my face, but it's not so great for seeing this says Heddwch. And it's a big heart. It's not even Christmas, is it? It's not just. This isn't just for Christmas. This is for all year round. Okay. My big heart wishing peace and love to everybody. All right. That's very much me. And so it's great. So there we go. Stick together, people. Yeah, always stick together. Right, you love the show, thank you very much. Good, okay, right, we'll just come towards the end now. Dial M for Mertha, yeah, that's a funny one, isn't it? Great show as always, thank you very much, Andrew Whelan. Yes, the annoying child, I'll get rid of him soon, don't worry. The Great Reset global communist behaviour takeover. So much for no politics. You got almost every type of politics in there. Oh, I'm making no comment, alright, I'm making no comments. North Star from independent tropical Wales. Thank you, Andrew Whelan. Yeah. Lights from sunny Llangollen. Yeah, say goodbye from wherever you are. Like, it's a shame not everyone's logged in and can comment. North Star Pope, keep safe, Alan Rees. And I know Richard is there. Thank you for these wonderful gifts. These are the kind of Christmas presents I like, alright? Nothing too expensive. I shouldn't say that. That sounds rude, doesn't it? What I mean is little fun stuff like this. I love this. I love this. And actually, these are good quality. Actually, these are. Feel the weight on those. This is like. We have these for years and years and years now. And I love this. That's going to go prominently on the bookshelf somewhere. Okay. All right. Great job. Often wonder about the early kings, Chris. Yes, so have I, and I cannot wait. Cannot wait to get reading into this. It's like I've got so much to read again. So don't forget, everybody, please support stuff. There are links in the notes. Like a proper YouTuber there, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't? Oh, alright, I thought I was doing my best.
That's it. Thanks so much for watching.
Smash that notification. Smash the like button.
Hit the
notifications. But most people aren't even logged into YouTube, see? So not going to happen, is it?
That's a shame.
Hey, don't forget this book. That's the last week to get £5 off, because it is going out next weekend, or possibly the Monday or Tuesday. It's shiny here, isn't it, these lights? Architecture, power, beautiful. 300 pages, just about.
If you have not already.
Arnie's giving it the hard sell. Right, anyway, I shall leave everyone to it. Unless you've got any other questions, I'm just going to check through my notes, because I do have other things to talk about. Oh, this isn't an extra topic, alright, so I'm not being too naughty. I know people complain. They log out and they find they miss something. Here we go. I just want to show this quickly. Just a quick one, alright? Hang on, let's get it on the screen.
Goodbye, everyone.
Oh, Arnie's off. There we are. He's very keen to get to bed because he's got school tomorrow.
No.
No, he's not keen. Look at this. If you remember, just a quick one here. We went to Clydach, and Robert Evans, or Bevans, and I took a bit of film. If you haven't seen the video, please watch it. It's a good video showing how Clydach seems to be an interesting area for star following and sun following, all that kind of thing. And one of the things he pointed out was the cave system links up all over the place. And here we have some photographs of inside the Clydach caves. Pretty marvellous, aren't they? Fantastic. And oh my goodness, look at him up to his neck in water there. Oh my goodness. The reason I'm sounding so worried, we got a new member in our group called Craig, who lives very close to me, and actually his son plays with my son, Arnie, there. So, I was going to say he's offered, more like threatened, to take me caving with him. There's some more caves very near to where we live, near Taft's Welsh. I didn't even know it existed. And Ali's dad. You know, Crazy Ali's crazy dad, yeah? Yeah. He said, don't worry, we got all the ropes and all that kind of stuff. They're going to dangle me down, so, I'm not very good with confined spaces or heights, so we're going to do caving on ropes. So I had to say it on the show tonight, so I wouldn't bottle it.
For the Arnie Presents.
For Arnie Presents?
Me, the spinning chair.
He's just spinning chair. Oh, they want to be... Oh, God, he's just destroying the place now.
The Arnie Presents meme.
An Arnie Presents meme of you spinning for your channel. Yes, so look out. I don't know when we're going to do it. Probably very soon. I don't think it matters what time of year you go down a cave, does it? It's freaking cold, wet and miserable all year round as far as I can tell. I'm not good at that kind of thing. There we are. We're going to start making some more spectacular films. And we got some climbing to do as well.
Wear a GoPro on your head.
Wear a GoPro on my head? Mate, I'll be terrified. I know a GoPro. I think I have to have a separate cameraman. Oh, they make me feel dizzy. See, even that's making me feel queasy. Watch him spin on a chair. What chance have I got spinning on a rope into a cave? I know, this channel and everything seems to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I seem to be like the sort of comic relief at the front of it.
Run through Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks, what a Jar Jar Binks, the British history world. Oh, gee, thanks, Arne. That's so nice of you to say so. Where can I put this picture so people can see it? Hang on, I got another picture here. Just about Clydach, just so I can nail the Clydach thing. Oh, alright, okay. Hang on, up you go. Alright, quickly. There you go. And there's a picture from possibly 1930s of Clydach. Just slight follow up the Clydach Valley, and there's that path we're on, and there's the writing and all that kind of stuff. So we have to work out when it was dug out. Anyway, that's definitely it, alright? Just rambling a bit. Hope people can... Yeah, looking forward to the 7th. Thank you, Benny. See, he's a pro, right? That's the difference, right? He just puts a little plug in at the end and reminding me, 7th of December, I'm going to be on his radio show. Talk about the new books. Maybe talk about Goyd Boy. We'll talk about whatever. Give Jack's radio. I should have put a link to that on the description. You can find it. JACS. It's like a Valley's radio, but it's internet. You can get it all around the world. And that'll be in the evening sometime. I think when it... I never know what to call you Benny. He always calls himself Benny. I think that's okay. Right. That's it. End of music. I'll put another piece of music on just to close down the show. I'm not going to say anything more for now, apart from good night from me and... Oh, I sounded like Ronnie Barker then, didn't I? Didn't mean to say it like that.
You say good night and I'll turn off the mic so you can't.
Aha, good night. Hedwch. Hang on, you can say Hedwch.
Hedwch.
Love, peace, everybody. Hedwch.
Yeah, I have.
Oh, no, the...
So, thank you everyone for watching, and anyone still here. Yes, thank you for watching, and good evening. Hope you all enjoyed the show very much, as I did, sitting here watching it. And this is a bit dark in here now, so I don't know if you can see me too well on the camera there. But, yeah, just a little final notice at the end here. Of course, the event information, I'm going to give it the hard sell this time. Another showing of the event information, 9th of September, £18, buffet, everything. It's just going to be lots of speakers, all that type of stuff. And, yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and for tuning in, anyone still here. I've already said all this, but yes, I hope you enjoyed, and until a few weeks or so, maybe a month or so, Hedwch.